anybody that hasn't done their LinkedIn page for a long time, or hasn't, even been on LinkedIn, what would you recommend as an effective LinkedIn page? What's the standardization when you work with a client or work with someone that you want to see on their LinkedIn page after you're done working with them?
LinkedIn will tell you if your profile is not 100% complete. And if it's not 100% complete, then you are probably not showing up in a lot of search results, which is something you do definitely want to be found. It would make your job search a lot easier if people could find you and reach out to you if you have what they need. So making it complete requires you to complete your headline, which is that 120 character thing that goes next to your name on your profile. That's what shows up in search results. That actually defaults to your most recent position. So it's a highly strategic move to customize that and put in first the role or the title that you want to be found for, because that shows up when in a search, and not all the characters do. And then you want to put in some tidbits about things that make you unique. Usually it's like a verb outcome type of thing, creates positive outcomes, converts customers, whatever it happens to be. And then if you have any particular certifications or unique experiences, you can try to fit that in that 120 character headline as well. Your photo is required, and it is recommended that it's actually a photo of you, and that it's actually a professional photo of you, and that you're smiling and seem approachable. This is, old resumes with profile pictures wouldn't have necessarily cut the mustard, but now we want to know. We want to know who we're working with. It's a digital world, but that doesn't mean we're faceless, right? So having a photo, there's an about section. It gives you 2,500 characters. You want to put in there, number one, a hook. A hook can be something that's like stating your mission, or asking a compelling question, or starting out a really compelling story. It's kind of like that first page of a book, because you want people to read the whole book. You need to hook them. And when they go to your profile, they can only see 300 characters or 200 based on where you have a paragraph break. You want them to be able to be so compelled that they click read more, and then they read more. And that's where you can talk about problems you solve, the passion that you have for your work. Let your personality come through. Best practices nowadays are to be first person, because we're moving from ivory tower to approachable and accessible. Include keywords. Keywords are something you can identify by pulling in a whole bunch of job descriptions that are desirable to you into a word cloud. So there are word cloud tools. There's a bunch of them online. Usually they just require you to copy and paste things into one big text field. And then it creates kind of a picture of all these words, and the size of the word represents the frequency of that word. And then you'll know that these are keywords employers are using. They're keywords you should be putting in your profile. Put them in context, in the context of a story, as much as possible, but also create a strengths list to include any additional keywords that you might not be able to use in the context. Also, your basic experience and your volunteerism, projects you've worked on. You can tag co-creators, which gives you extra visibility. Recommendations, there's a tool in there to request recommendations. Definitely use that, because they are very powerful. They do have a lot of sway and influence. I would say also, if you have any credentials, certifications, put in your education, and then there's a skills list. You need to pin the top 3 skills that you want to be identified for. So there is a way to prioritize them. If you have Microsoft Office as one of your top 3 skills, you probably should replace that with something, unless you're like the Microsoft guru of the world. But otherwise, make sure that you're leveraging those tools, because you will get endorsed more often for the things that you prioritize as your top 3 skills.